Let's go! Let's go! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to SPiTBALLiN. I am Dollar Bill. And, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. My guys do a good job getting me out there, doing a good job behind the scenes. You know how we do it on SPiTBALLiN. One take, no scripts, usually one subject. I just spit it, what comes out of my mouth, and whatever fits. Whatever works, whatever doesn't, well, sometimes I get egg on my face, too. Today is kind of a little synopsis show of what's going on in the sports world, just to give you a little microcosm of what's going on, in my neck of the woods. You can't get a COVID test anywhere. Mass hysteria has really hit an all-time high. And moving forward, you can't get a test anywhere. It takes 2 days to get a rapid test, and you can't even get the results right away. So it's like a 4-day process to get a COVID test. You don't want to be sitting outside 200 deep in some places at 30 degrees just to get a COVID test with other sick people or potentially sick people. And just a heads up on what hysteria has really risen to. I have a friend in the area who's a pharmacist. He got 4,000 home kits coming to his place of business. Shop local if you can. Does a really great job in the community. 4,000 tests, $20 a test, sold out in 4.5 hours. That goes to show the hysteria that's in this part of the world or this part of the United States right now. So as always, be safe out there. Use some common sense. But are the leagues that we like to follow and love in the sports world using common sense right now? I mean, the NFL is up and running. The NBA is running, and the NHL is up. The NHL, was really, really smart not to send their players to China and put them in harm's way of anything that could happen over there, COVID or otherwise related. Plus, I hate the pros going to play anyway. But, they don't have to shut down their season. They've shut it down to an extent right now where they, teams crossing the northern border. It seems like it basically shut it down for a week. May or may not be a good idea. Obviously, a pretty good idea crossing the border. We're talking about legalities and stuff like that. The NBA is a little bit different. Adam Silver, and I think he's got this 1,000% correct. He came out yesterday, the day before, and said, listen, COVID is just going to be the new norm, and we're going to just have to deal with it. And, when you play 80 or 82 games in a season, and, listen, we just call it basically advanced, forced upon load management, because that's what it really is. Because, people are coming down with COVID, you get it put into protocol, and, you're missing good players or even great players for a handful of games that, it doesn't really directly affect your season. But just if you use it as load management days, it kind of works. And you kind of understand, and, the NBA is kind of like that anyway. I mean, a lot of times teams throw away, second games of back-to-back nights. And, if you go into a second game or in Minnesota where it's like 12 degrees out and the guys just don't want to be there. So I get it, what they do with their league. Adam Silver does probably the best commissioner in sports. Then we go to the NFL where it really affects. It's really affecting the quality of play in the field, because it's only a once-a-week game, obviously, or a little bit less if like the Eagles this week. You play on a Tuesday, and then you got to play on a Sunday. But, you're playing, quarterbacks are an issue. Kansas City's favored to win the AFC. And right now in this world, I don't know how you can figure out who is, the best team anywhere. Because the healthiest team from COVID might be the team that wins it all. Kansas City's obviously the favorite right now in the AFC. But, they're missing Kelsey this week. They're, their dynamic playmaker, Mr. You know who he is, number 10, Tyreek Hill. He could be kind of the MVP, but he would never get it. But, his dynamic playmaking ability is in question. How do you watch the game if they're not playing? Be a little interesting. You certainly can't bet it. And, these games, if you get 2 of these games or 3 of these games, not only does it change the complexion of your own team's success, it changes the complexion of the whole league. Like, basically right now, getting the 1 seed is more important than ever. But just getting in could be equally as important. You could get a team, you could see a team sliding in the playoffs maybe at 9-8, going on the road playing a 2 seed. You have the right situation where the wrong guys get COVID on the other team, and you could have a huge upset winner of the Super Bowl. We laugh about it, if Cleveland gets healthy real quick and that running game and they can rush the passer and, you play guys like, Mahomes is out or I'm missing a couple starting offensive linemen, you got a chance. I think this year's playoffs, especially in the NFL, will be must-watch TV. And I don't like making blanket statements and stuff like that. I bet all the underdogs. Honestly, bet all the underdogs because it might be the healthiest team wins. Not even from injury, from COVID. So keep that in your pocket and moving forward. But what's the right answer? Does each league have it right? Well, I think they're all right, and they're kind of all wrong, too, at the same time. Like Gary Bettman, the only decision he can make, not sending his players to the Olympics, smart move. Adam Silver coming out saying, listen, COVID's here to stay. We're going to have to just deal with it. Now, that decision right now, what he's saying, is a lot easier to say in December. Because, I've been saying, for all the time you guys have been listening to SPiTBALLiN, the NBA season really doesn't start until Christmas Day, and that's a couple days from now. You just want to play yourself not bad enough to be out of it. What I tell you about the Lakers, they're struggling a little bit. They'd be about 500 at this point, and I think they're 1 or 2 games over. That's kind of what they're going to be. So we kind of know the situation's going into the league. The NFL, they want to play every week. They want to do everything the right way. I get it. But when, your league is so dependent on one person on any given team, the quarterback, God, it's a rough thing when you don't have one or you don't know what's going to happen. And, credit to, the Washington quarterback who was on the New England practice squad. Thursday, he goes down to Washington, plays, a couple days later, and he did an admirable job. He checked down every throw, basically. He go deep, and I'll throw it to my running back or a wide receiver for a 3-yard play. That's just kind of what you can do. That just goes to show you how much preparation really goes into football and how it's so quarterback dominant. Like, if you don't have a quarterback or a competent quarterback, it's like not having air. You don't notice until you miss it. I don't know what the answer is moving forward. Obviously, things that should be built in the schedule, especially COVID moving forward. And, the NFL wants to do this anyway. They got their 17 games. If they move forward, when they schedule, if they were smart and had some common sense, build 2 weeks of buys into every season and not do it by team, do it by conference. Let's say week 6, you give the AFC off. Week 7, you give the NFC off. Week 13, you give the AFC off. Week 14, you give the NFC off. That way, things are built into your schedule where if COVID hits and really could wipe out a team, you have time left over to make adjustments in your schedule. Leave that 2-week window in between the Super Bowl and the conference championship games because, it's going to get moved back, and it could be moved back this year as well. Gives them a little bit of time to make amends in the regular season. So there's a lot of common sense out there right now, but God, this COVID is really, really tough. The strain doesn't seem as bad right now, but that doesn't mean hysteria, and you should let your guard down for 1 second. So listen, that's it for today's show on SPiTBALLiN on the Let's Go Network. Wish you talked about a happier topic. But, we always try and keep it real and try and make some common sense out of your sports and your life. And, you find us on the Let's Go Network, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. You got that. So this is Dollar Bill signing off right now. Have a happy holiday season. Enjoy it with your families. Mask up, not being political. Be safe, use some common sense, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.